Hi, I'm Mike Grocott and welcome to this supplementary video for my book, How to Be Better at Networking, in person and online. Picture the scene. You've just walked into the room at a networking event and there is everybody else arrayed in front of you. It's often quite daunting then to look at that and say, well, who can I go and talk to? In actuality, it's not that difficult a thing to work out. All you really need to do is know which groups are open groups and therefore you can go up to, and which groups are closed groups and therefore you can't. So what I'm going to do in this short video is just to take you through the difference between open groups and closed groups, what they look like, and therefore you can know which groups to approach the next time that you go networking. Let's have a look then at two people. You've got two people you can see in the room and they're standing like this, then you'll notice that they're twisted out a little bit. There's a gap between them. This is an open group. This is a group where those two people are subconsciously giving off the information that they don't mind if somebody were to come over and to want to join that group. Sometimes a little bit of a clue by just looking at their feet, and the feet will be pointing to that gap as to where you could go and join the group. So if you spot a group like this, you can wander over quite politely, pause when you get there, they'll no doubt look up and they'll either invite you to join the group or you can politely ask if you could join in. At that point then you're part of the conversation, just naturally join into the conversation, taking your lead from the other people who are already in the group. It's not always the case, however, that if you have a couple of people chatting that they are in an open group. In a situation like this, you can see that they're much more facing each other. And again, if you look at the feet, they're really directly pointing to each other. This is what's known as a closed group. It simply wouldn't be polite to go and join this group, and so therefore that's not a pair of people that you could approach. And this principle of a closed group applies regardless of how many people are in the group. For example, here's a group of 3 people. Again, it's a closed group. Just look at the way that their feet are pointing in. There's no real obvious gap where you could politely join this group. But in this group, for example, with 3 people, then there is that gap there again. Again, the feet are pointing towards the open gap where you can then go and potentially join that group. Now, you might be wondering, what if they don't want me to join the group? Well, the reality is that most of the time, if people don't want other people to join their group, they will make it a closed group. And so that space won't be there. The very fact that there is a space there means that subconsciously the people in that group are open to other people joining the group. So don't worry about that, because if there's a space, if it's an open group, the invitation to join the group is implicitly there. The final thing to mention, of course, is somebody standing on their own. Somebody standing on their own at a networking event is by definition an open group. In fact, they are probably standing there thinking, I really wish somebody would come and talk to me. So if somebody is on their own, you can just politely approach them and say, do you mind if I join you? It's highly unlikely that they're going to say no. So there you go, the difference between open and closed groups. Open groups, perfectly acceptable for you to approach to try and join. Closed groups, not so much. They're really groups that you need to wait until they become more open before you can then join them. Next time you walk into a networking event then, just take a moment, have a look around, identify the open groups, identify the closed groups, and make your approaches accordingly. This has been a supplementary video for my book, How to Be Better at Networking, in person and online. You can find all of the resources for this book on my website at www.intercog.co.uk. Thanks for watching.